Yo, I feel so spoiled today. I get the whole garage to myself. I don't think I've ever gotten to work on a car in the entire garage with it all just open. The neon's pushed out right now since Matt's working on Chewy here and there on his days off. So this is nice. This is nice. And it's a very good day today because our flares are literally out for delivery. Finally, after placing an order on May 24th and having to go back and forth with the seller of these flares who like held him hostage for a month when they were done for a month, and he like held him hostage for some reason. Don't know why, but we got stuff to do today. So yesterday I went on and I continued wrapping on the 05. I started shooting a video on it, but to be honest, I felt like straight up poo yesterday. The Taco Bell that I ate came back with a heavy vengeance, and your boy was not living life very well. So let me show you what I got done so far. So talk about it's really starting to look like a taxi. It's really starting to look like a taxi, but I'm loving it. So like you guys saw, hood's done, roof is done. I got both of these doors done with the little cup handles. We have the trunk done back here. What did I get done over here? Oh, well, bam, a gas cap and then 2 more doors. So I kind of just knocked out some of the easier, meticulous stuff for right now. The door handles are probably one of the worst things that you're gonna do on these cars. Actually, any car, to be honest, because you gotta like disassemble a door, pop them all out, wrap the door handle, get it back in there, reassemble the door handle, and then make sure the door handle still works. So all of our doors are done, everything like that. While we wait for our flares to show up, I think I'm going to go ahead and jump on. Actually, you know, I think to start things off, we're gonna take the side skirts off. We're gonna take these flare guys off because these are gonna come off with our new fender flares going on. So I think we'll do some body prep actually to get this thing ready for the flares when they show up today. So we'll pop both of these guys, just like pop off of here somehow. I don't quite know how, so I'm gonna have to like finagle with that. Let's start with getting both the side skirts off. Pretty easy, just the clips that run along the bottom of the skirts. We'll take the skirt off on both sides. We'll get those set aside. I might wrap the skirts today just to get those done with. Side skirts suck to wrap just because of the length of them. I've got a couple of sawhorses we can toss them on, but let's get the skirts off. Then we'll take the rear fender arches off. Both of the skirts came off, no problem. Getting these clips out, though, is always a pain on these older ones. Like, they just never want to come apart. So instead of jumping on and doing some of the more bigger stuff, like the bumper, rear bumper, front bumper, can't do the fenders quite yet, or that rear fender, I think I'm going to knock out some of the tedious stuff. So we need to do these mirror caps and the hood scoop. I'm going to start with the hood scoop just because it looks annoying. I am a little bit concerned down here because there is peeling paint just from it being old. So I might hit it with a little bit of Scotch-Brite to try to smooth it out a little bit, clean it up, and then we'll start wrapping this. I don't know how I'm going to do this yet. The hood scoop I'll probably do in a couple pieces. We're probably going to do one big piece from the front going to the back following this seam here. We'll probably do another piece right there, and then a third smaller strip that wraps around down on the bottom. There's no way in hell that's going to happen in one piece. I don't even think I can do that in 2. In reality, it's probably going to be 3 or 4 pieces of vinyl. So make sure you got a lot of knifeless tape because that's going to come in handy. So start cracking out a hood scoop. I'm so excited for the hood scoop. Yay, I've been putting this off for a couple days now. So it's probably been about an hour and a half since I've been going. All I've gotten done so far are the mirror caps and taking off the side skirts. If you've ever wrapped a car, you already know this, but if you haven't, the smaller things like mirror caps, hood scoops, anything that's small is the most time-consuming thing to wrap. Door handles, anything like that. It just takes so much time. But let me show you guys how the mirror caps came out. Keep in mind, I'm not a professional wrapper. This is the 3rd car I've wrapped, but I'm pretty happy with it. So, I mean, honestly, you can kind of tell a difference between the mirror cap and the fender right there since they're both black. But the mirror caps came out awesome. Pretty happy with the sheen and, like, the finish on them. There's no, like, peeling, nothing like that on those. Make sure you take your time on that smaller stuff because the smaller stuff, like I said, it'll just eat up a lot of your time if you have to go back and do this stuff multiple times. But the edges and everything is nicely tucked. There's no air bubbles. Everything looks brilliant. So now that I've got both mirror caps done, What do I want to do next? I don't know. I don't want to do the hood scoop. I really don't. I tried doing the hood scoop and it's just a pain in the ass. That's why I want to do a hood scoop delete. I'll keep the scoop because I know a lot of you guys like the scoop and I don't really care to spend the money on a hood scoop delete right now, but start doing the bumper inlays on here. So I'm going to do one inlay inside here where the headlight sits. I'm going to do one inlay up here, one inlay there, one down on the bottom. We'll get all the inlays set on this bumper just so that way we don't have to mess with them later. And that way we have the bumper started. And I guess I'll disassemble the bumper too. Bro, I was not joking when I said this small stuff takes forever. It's been another hour and a half, almost 2 hours, and all I've gotten done are those little 2 bumper cutouts that you just saw. Like, this smaller stuff takes so long, but it has to be done. So if we were to just wrap a giant piece of vinyl around this, it would eventually fail because the vinyl over time wrapping in weird and like contouring ways, it's gonna end up pulling up. So when you go to do a bumper in this is an intricate bumper to wrap. Like, I still have to do an inlay under both of the headlights. I still got to pull out these fog light covers, wrap those separate. But this stuff is what takes a while when it comes to wrapping. Like, the big panels, like doors and whatnot, really don't take long. It's this smaller stuff that just beats the ever-living hell out of you. I don't even know how I'm going to end up doing these like STI lip pieces down here that come off the side. Those are going to be fun. I don't know how I'm going to get around that little like hump on it right there, but you know, we'll figure that out. So I got to do another inlay under each headlight. Got to do an inlay in here and in here. Once I get all of that done, then hopefully our flares have showed up because I want to take a break from wrapping and actually start getting cutting on this thing. So let's do some little headlight cutout dealios. So I needed a break from wrapping. All the small stuff, it gets to you like quick and you're just like, fuck dude, I don't want to keep going. But I got most of the inlays done on the bumper. I think I have one more inlay to do, but our flares just got dropped off. You know what that means. You know what that means! Ooh, daddy, oh. So these have only taken months to get here, but they're finally here. That's all that matters to me. This one is damaged, so I'm gonna have to go over that with some body filler, fill in that damaged area on it, smooth them all out. Like I said, I need to go grab primer so that way, because the wrap won't really stick to fiberglass. But before, we'll run to AutoZone here in a minute and go grab body stuff. I want to get these like taped up to the car and just see how they look. Just envision the wideness. Overall, they actually fit a lot better than I thought they did. The one up there is pretty far off compared to this side, but with some minor body work we can do in the garage, I'm not too stressed about that. You can see they conform to the body line pretty well. Like right back here, I'll probably have to do a little bit of body filler. That's easy. I could just move the flare backwards a little bit to fill in all of that area. Back here, the rears actually fit up a lot better than I thought they would. I have no idea how to attach this piece to the door, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. But overall, they fit nicely. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and send it. I'm pretty happy with the location of these, so I'm going to go under there with a Sharpie just to cut out the area that I know we're going to need to cut out. Then we're going to start prepping the flares, wrap this fender. I want to be able to like cut. Actually, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get final location determined on this flare right here. We're gonna go in there with a Sharpie. We're then going to go ahead and trim this whole section out so that way I can get this panel wrapped. I'm gonna go ahead and drill the holes for location on the flares because I'm already pretty happy with this one right here. Like I showed you guys, like everything on this one lines up almost like spot on for it being fiberglass. I mean, I have edge trim that'll help fill in any of these like backing areas, but for the most part, I can come in here with a little bit of body filler, fill that up just so that way it sits a little bit more flush. But overall, I am like pretty happy with how these sit. So let's use this one as a starting point. I'm gonna get some more masking tape thrown on there to keep it like actually pulled into the fender. Then we're going to get and we're gonna drill the holes so that way I can get the riv nuts in here. So that way I can, you know, let me try something here. I've never done this before, so this is the first time for me. And the best way to learn is to just do it. I have never done this before. I probably should have watched a YouTube video on how to flare your car, but knowing me, I'm just gonna do it. How am I supposed to do this? Drilling it, I can't even get a Sharpie up there to like mark on this. I can get a screwdriver and kind of scratch it a little bit. I think that's a pretty good scratch. Now let's drill some holes. Let's just commit to this. If we're gonna do this, let's just go all the way and commit, right? I just drilled holes in my car. Who am I? Tanner years ago never would have done this. I would have been way too scared. I just want to get this wheel off so that way the dude doesn't like walk on me and I don't stab it. What the fuck was that? I just cut my fender off. Look at that. Who needs that? Not me. Maybe me. I don't know. I'm not a professional here. I'm just a dude in a garage with an angle grinder. So I think I'm gonna tackle this one fender at a time. So I'm gonna focus on this side right now. I'm gonna get it jacked back up in the air. I'm gonna get that wheel off and I'm gonna start filing the edges of the fender that I just cut. I think I'm pretty happy with the cut. I don't think I need to cut any more off. Even if we lower the car a little bit, I don't think it's gonna be too big of an issue. I do want my caster to come back a little bit because maybe it's just because there's no bumper and side skirt on there right now that it looks a little bit like pushed far forward. But let me show you this and then let me get this jacked up and keep going on. So let me reiterate again before I even go into this. I'm no body person. This is the first time I've done any type of body work. So we're gonna learn as we go here. So and if you guys have any tips, let me know. So I already got the fender like cut up in there. It's cut to a point where I'm pretty happy with it. I'm gonna get it smoothened out because there are some jagged edges on it right now. I did leave a little portion on the bottom right there of the fender to be able to still mount the fender liner. I'm probably gonna have to either cut or zip tie the fender liner up. I have no idea, so I'm gonna get baby steps. Let's get this wheel pulled back off. Let's get the flare off. Let's file it down so it's nice and smooth. We'll get some paint on there to keep the fender from rusting over time. And then we'll drill up the holes where the fender flare mounts. And then we'll actually mount it up to the fender as a test fit, just to make sure that everything still like fits as it should. Yo, fitment on this flare is actually perfect. I don't have to do anything for fitment wise. It mates up to the fender damn near perfect and smooth all the way down. So I got the riv nuts installed. I'm using Downstar hardware for mine. I just have it temporarily bolted on here. So the flare is like, it's on there. It ain't coming off, which is good, Riv nuts and the Downstar hardware, 10 out of 10 on those. So we're gonna run to AutoZone or O'Reilly's here in a little bit. I'm gonna grab paint to be able to just garage paint these so that way we can wrap them. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this fender wrapped yellow. It's already on jack stand, so I might as well just do it now. So we're gonna wrap this fender and then, I don't know, maybe we'll do the other side tonight. I don't know, let's see what happens. But I'm like super happy with that. Look how good that fitment is. Like, all right, I was complaining a little bit, but pretty happy with the fitment. So I've got this half of the car wrapped at this point. This fender flare bolted on. We're about to run to AutoZone so I can grab some paint and some primer, or primer and paint. We're gonna sand this down, put some primer on it, sand it, make it nice and smooth, then just put like a gloss black finish on there, just so that way we have something to wrap over. You can't really wrap on fiberglass. It just doesn't stick all that well, but you guys, the wide body Rumblebee or Taxi, call it whatever you want, it's coming together. And with those wheels, ooh, 10 out of 10 on those. So let's go grab some auto body supplies. Let's come back, keep going on this. Just got back from AutoZone. I ended up grabbing like 3 cans of, it's 2 cans of primer, 2 cans of gloss black, 2 cans of, what is it? Clear coat, Bondo, fiberglass, whole bunch of stuff that I think I'm going to need. I spent like a little over $100 in like bodywork supplies, but we're not gonna get into that stuff until the next video. But tonight, since I have all that now, and since I had to take Melanie's car because obviously I can't drive this one at the moment, let's jump over to the passenger fender. Let's get this flare mocked up for over there. Let's get it cut, cleaned up, touched up, and then we'll see how much like farther we get tonight. But like, I am absolutely loving how this thing is coming out. So it's almost 11 o'clock right now. I have both of the front flares installed. I still have to wrap the fender on the passenger side, but the driver's side's wrapped, as you guys saw. Both flares put on there, and I have to say, I am so glad I actually waited and decided to get the Carltons. Fitment on the passenger side is kind of meh, but that's kind of my fault and the flare's fault. The flare could have been molded a little bit better, but also there was damage to that fender before, and the flare kind of sits right where that damage was. So tomorrow I'm gonna go in there with like a ball peen hammer and try to like straighten it out a little bit. But let me show you, because this thing looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. Right up here you can see the flare could have been molded a little bit better right there, but as you start to follow the flare back, there's a fat gap back there, and that's because there's a dent in the fender. So tomorrow I'm going to try to pull that out the best I can, but oh my god, you guys, it looks so good with Matt sitting down there. But the flared look, I have always been about it on the older GDs, and it looks so good, especially with the yellow. I think the yellow really sets it off, especially with these Anki RS05 RRs. They just look so good. So the game plan that I'm going to go through for tomorrow is go ahead and primer and paint and sand these flares, so that way we can get them wrapped as well as cut the rears. I already talked to Kyle and we are good to go for Wednesday. When I go, I'm going to be going down there on Wednesday, so you guys should get your next video Thursday, which will probably be the flare cutting one. We'll see. But I'm going to go down there Wednesday. He's going to weld up the rear quarter panels for us back there, so that way I can focus on getting this whole front area done. I think the main focus of tomorrow is going to be getting those flares painted, primered, wrapped, fender, and getting the bumper wrapped, so that way I can get the front end completely reassembled. As for the hood scoop, I have a surprise coming for you guys. So that's really all I got for you guys on this one. I'm pumped. I'm excited that the flares came in and that we actually got the fronts mounted up on the car. I'm not going to say actually. I've said that like 5 times in the past couple minutes, but I'm super stoked that they're on the car. They're looking beautiful. I cannot wait to see this thing fully flared and fully wrapped. It's going to be pristine. It's going to be primo. The yellow's really going to set it off. Absolutely love it. Super glad I decided to do the yellow. Anyways, if you guys like the video, you know, do go and hit that like button to your black, blue, green, yellow, purple, silver, cyan, whatever color it turns for you. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, hit your boy up one of these corners. No idea which one I'll put it in quite yet, but with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, homies.